as long as you and I can remember, we've been told that any sort of football that really matters comes from Europe, comes from the EU. The Big Five leagues, the UEFA Champions League, any sort of competition that has been watched by anybody has to be in Europe. Now, in doing so, we've been ignoring a very major player when it comes to football. The people who play inspired football, the birthplace of Joga Bonito, and home to 8 World Cup trophies, the South American region. Now, there has been never any doubt, really, as to the presence of talent in the South American region. What there has been doubt towards is the competitiveness of their leagues. Okay. We all acknowledge that some of the greatest talent actually comes out of South America. Some of the greatest players of all time, including the greatest player of all time, was born in South America. But the leagues aren't really seen as competitive to most football fans. It's just where young talents train until their European clubs buy them, and then they can see them in actually competitive leagues. That has been the perception and mentality up until this FIFA Club World Cup. People think that people who actually play in those leagues are either retired European players or just players waiting to be picked up by European clubs. Those are the two type of players that people think. Public perception has been until now that those are the two type of people that play there. It's not a competitive league. There's no competitive teams, etc. The third type, of course, is the players who are just not good enough to make it into European teams. Well, let's just say this Club World Cup has exposed the European frauds. Okay, I'm not being exaggerative, not exaggerating at all, and you will see why. They're slowly but surely being exposed. The first slight shock came when Boca Juniors, team second in the Argentine Primera Division, drew with Benfica 2-2. This could, however, be seen as an extreme fumble by Benfica, given the 2 red cards given to Boca Juniors, 1 red card given to Benfica, and the fact that nobody could really stop Otamendi from scoring on both ends of the pitch, if you know what I mean. That and a number of missed chances meant that Benfica let this game slip through their fingers, with a 2-2 draw that Benfica could have potentially won. The real shock to European fans, however, came later, when Monterrey drew with this year's UEFA Champions League finalist Inter Milan. Inter Milan, who, by the way, also were competing for Serie A, one of the 5 big leagues, and the domestic title in Serie A, which I don't know the name. Yeah, I don't know what Serie A. This was a 1-1 draw that Monterrey, by the way, could have very easily won. Monterrey are 9th in the Mexican League. Have you ever even heard of the Mexican League? No, you haven't. They drew with Inter. I'm not even sure how they're 9th in the fucking Mexican League and qualifying for this tournament in Barcelona are, okay? And that team is drawing with Inter Milan. Monterrey scored first with Sergio Ramos turning back the clock with a header from a corner. Inter equalized with a beautiful set piece, but then they reminded everyone why they only turned into prime Barcelona against the Barcelona team, and that too only in the UCL semi-finals for some reason. Inter ended up almost conceding 2 in the closing minutes of the game. Monterrey hitting the bar once and then missing an opportunity when they were leading 2-1 goal and should have scored last. So this one drew 1-1. Next up though was Al Hilal versus Real Madrid, the oil money club from a non-competitive league from Saudi Arabia, not even from South America. Where it says the 15-time UEFA Champions League, you're 15 times UEFA Champions League winners. Surely Madrid are going to wipe the floor with these fraudulent Saudis, right? Real Madrid, who I would like to reiterate, the 15 times UEFA Champions League winners, because their fans never shut up about it, so why should I? With their shiny new signings in Trent Alexander-Arnold and Dean Huijsen, led by arguably the most talented young manager in Europe right now, Xabi Alonso. Surely this would be a complete landslide, with Madrid dominating the entire game and scoring something like 7 or 8 goals.
Wrong.
Right? Al Hilal are clearly outmatched. Yeah, no, Al Hilal dominated the entire game, especially first half. They actually did turn into prime Barcelona. I am not joking. Go watch the game. The tiki-taka on display was prime Barcelona-ish. They did end up missing multiple goal-scoring opportunities, however, and a miss from the 6-yard box that reminded me of prime Lukaku, and a goal disallowed for offside meant that the game stayed 0-0. Real Madrid punished them for their complacency and hit them with a counter in the 34th minute, scoring a lousy, sloppy goal at best. Like, not even Madrid fans are gonna defend this. He didn't even finish properly, he got lucky. Went off his shin. However, in football, what matters is the ball hits the back of the net, and it did hit the back of the net. So Real Madrid was 1-0 up. Raul Asensio though just couldn't help himself. He was doing Raul Asensio things, and just 5 minutes later, he ends up pulling a player back by his shirt, who was turning away from the goal, give a penalty to Al Hilal. Amazing football IQ right there. Ruben Neves converted the penalty and drew Al Hilal level. Things improved significantly for Madrid in the second half as they hit the crossbar in the very first minute and had the ball cleared off the line by the goalkeeper in the following minute. In the 53rd minute though, Real Madrid's shiny new signing, Dean Huijsen, one of them, gives the ball away at the edge of the box. It falls to Al Hilal's number 11, Marcus Leonardo, at the edge of the 6-yard box. All he has to do is square the ball and Al Hilal are in the lead. Yeah, no, he rammed the cock with it into the side netting. I don't know how you don't square the ball there because the guy who won the ball was asking for it and he didn't. They should have scored that. Al Hilal then proceed to miss another opportunity from within the box. It's the same culprit, Marcus Leonardo. Honestly, just bench this guy at this point. I don't know what he's doing. He is definitely prime Lukaku in disguise. In the 89th minute now, and it looks like it's going to be a 1-1 draw. Oh, what's this? An Al Hilal player with his arm across a Real Madrid player in a very natural position. He's running with a natural posture. How dare he? Penalty a favor de Real Madrid. Up steps Federico over to deliver Real Madrid in a fraudulent comeback. Except his foot was obviously weak from running all game for the rest of his teammates, and Bono saved a very weak penalty to his right. Not to fret though, because Dean Huijsen, making up for his mistake, delivers a beautiful ball into the box to Gonzalo Garcia. All he has to do, this is the 96th minute, all he has to do is not hit it straight at the keeper and what a save! He hits it straight. That was the last round of the game, and this thrilling game ended 1-1. Other major surprising results was Inter beating Porto, Inter Miami, not Inter Milan, beating Porto FC 2-1. Well, a beautiful Messi free kick in the 54th minute of the game, then drawing with Fluminense to reach the round of 16, where they would face PSG. Speaking of PSG though, and the European champions fell to Botafogo, 1-0. Botafogo are currently 8th in the Serie A of the Brazilian Premier League. Can't make this shit up, man. The European frauds are getting exposed and they have like a checklist. I'm gonna put that up on screen now. They have like a checklist of excuses which they can pick from. The checklist is composed of mostly conditions. Do these frauds not realize that the conditions are the same for both teams? Flamengo, the club currently leading the Brazilian league, beat Chelsea 3-1, which was also surprising. Now, I'm gonna keep it real with you, alright? When the Club World Cup started, I was worried about it being like a time pass, Mickey Mouse tournament that is an interlude to the next season, basically. Ties us over, some football, maybe some good football, right? Out of, I don't know, 32 matches, maybe one good game. Tied us over to the next season. It turns out, however, that this is not the interlude, this is very much the main show. A show that is challenging the widely accepted superiority of European football, and I'm loving every second of it. I will be keeping watch on this tournament and I will report during or after the round of 16. See you guys then, and if you didn't like the video, have an absolutely terrible day. Goodbye.